going into high school, I was probably about 5'5", 140, and they're like, I don't know if you're physical enough to make it. Your height's kind of small. It's kind of like, that's when I kind of just started changing a little bit, like my mindset wise. I think that a lot of the times that really pushed me to start outworking everybody.
You can tell like that kid has something special, and now look what happened.
He didn't care that they thought that he was too little. He was like, I'm gonna show y'all, I'm gonna work hard, I'm gonna, I'm gonna do this.
I would go work out at 6 a.m. Jett's already been up at 5. And then I come home from a brutal workout and I'm tired and I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna be done for the day. And Jett's going for his second workout later that night. He's like, I've already worked out, I've hit, I'm going for another one. And he would come in my room and go, you coming with me?
Not too bad. Ready to go to work?
Oh yeah.
The great Kobe Bryant once said, there's a choice that we have to make as people, as individuals. If you want to be great at something, there's a choice you have to make. We all can be masters at our craft, but you have to make a choice. Jett Williams made his choice long ago, and he has seen his name soar up the Major League Baseball draft board over the past few months. But for the 18-year-old middle infielder out of Heath, Texas, there's little time to celebrate.
Giving you a little background. Some people, a lot of, parents and players, they ask me, I say like, why when Jett swing or when Jett is on the play, why he have to just move his feet? I explained to them, well, because it was his timing. Everybody's different. You cannot teach timing. So he picked that own timing. But back in 2017, 2016, we went to Arlington Ballpark and worked with Elvis, Odor, and all that. So they was listening to music, he was hitting, he was around then, and Elvis made it come and say, just be you. We have music, just try to put some music on your body. Try to start, when you good, your swing is good, but you're missing something. So after that day, that's why he started. So he had like a salsa dance there.
Same with the infield too.
Yeah.
Like fielding wise, you're just like, there you go.
Yeah. So that's how he started going on that direction about, just we have to put some music, in our body to just relax and just play the game.
We feel blessed. We build a great chemistry together. He knows what I'm talking about. I know what he needs to do. I got a little emotional, and going through every level with him. Like you said, I don't have boys. I have 2 daughters, and for me, he's my boy. I'm gonna take care of him the same way I take care of my 2 daughters. And yeah, he's part of my family. I love him. Like after we work together or whatever, I say I love you.
Outside of baseball, I feel like he would be a person I call I ever needed something, help with something. So I feel like that definitely goes a long way with just building that relationship. And yeah, I feel like we definitely have a really special one.
The way he carried himself to the baseball field, to the gym, to the cages, you know what I mean? He's perfect.
The legend of Jett Williams was born long before recruiters and scouts knew his name. Jett's need to be around a baseball field fueled a dream at an early age, and at the center of that dream was a family that recognized something special.
He just was always wanting to throw the ball, always just wanting to play. Probably just like he said, because we were always at baseball. RJ played, we were always at baseball, so it's just like everybody, all the kids go. Well, he didn't really want to play in the dirt like all the other kids, at the baseball field. He wanted to throw the ball.
State championships, I remember whenever Jett won his, I think I was more excited for him to get that moment and understand that feeling, and it definitely brought back a lot of memories for both of us and us winning ours. But to be able to, see my older brother win one, and then, I'm sitting there chasing him, I'm like, I gotta get one, and then I get one, and now it's like both of us just like going after Jett, saying, now it's your turn, man, like you've got to get it. And I feel like you said, that was like our expectation for him, is we want to win. That's our goal in everything we do in our life, and that's just how we were raised. And so to see him get that and kind of, get over that hump and say, I did what my brothers did, and then to try and, make it back to Round Rock and go for that second one, even though I know we would have never heard the end of it, I really wish that they would have gotten that second one just so I could have experienced that for him again. It's, like I said, seeing your little brother accomplish something, more than you have is just, to me, more fun than accomplishing your own feats as a person. So,
well, I think, having an older brother that, he looked up to significantly. I mean, he looked up to all of his siblings, but having an older brother that he looked up to, he kind of tried to emulate and mimic him at a very young age.
From the time he was 2-3 years old, I remember him when we lived in New York, just kind of always being around my teams playing. It's always been from the time I was 10 years old to the time I was in college. He always wanted to be in the dugout with us. He always wanted to be the bat boy. It's just one of those things where our teammates were like, man, that kid's good. He's going to be the next big leaguer.
Me and Jett have always had a bond because he was the baby. So I took care of him, and I was the big sister. So me and my other brothers were closer in age, so it was easier for me to be I wanted to do everything with Jett because he was the baby.
I can remember whenever he was young, probably 10, 11, 12 years old, and him and my dad, he would drag my dad out to a baseball tournament 3 hours before his game even started because he wanted to go watch the other teams first. He's like, we got to go watch this team play. And him and my dad would be out there, and so I would come in later with my mom, and then he would stay after and watch the games after play. And he just wanted to be around the game. He wanted to watch other guys and then see what other people were doing and then come back home. Now he's in the garage after Friday night summer tournament, and he's hitting little wiffle balls into the net with RJ and my dad sitting there tossing to him. And it's just you don't see kids doing that after you've been out in the sun all day, you want to go home and get in your pool or play a video game, and Jett's I don't want to stop. This is my world right here. I'm not interested in sitting down and having a video game or a Coke. I want to go hit baseballs. So it's just incredible to see that from a kid. You just don't see that, and I think that's what really stood out as he got older, there's really something special here.
When he was in kindergarten, he told his teacher,
Yes.
he didn't write his name, he wrote Jacoby Ellsbury.
Yeah.
That's what his name was.
For a whole year,
In
he
kindergarten.
was Jacoby Ellsbury.
And I saved the papers and I said, I'm going to show him this.
Yeah.
So he was like, what, 5 or 6?
And
kindergarten.
didn't the teacher call you or
She
something?
called me and she's like, I cannot get Jett to write his name. He's writing Jacoby on
And she
it.
didn't know who.
Jacoby E, because he couldn't spell the whole thing. And I was like,
Yeah.
I mean,
I remember
it
that.
was
That
so,
was funny.
I was like, I mean, he thinks he's Jacoby Ellsbury, you know.
Yeah.
So it just, that was funny because he was only 5 and he really loved baseball that much. And it's so funny because now Jordan's a little boy, our grandson, Weston, he's almost 2 and he loves, like he would come to the baseball field and watch, you know, Jett's games and stuff and watch it. And they watch it on TV and he watches it and he now
kinda
at our
reminds me
house, yes, at our house,
Jett.
Jett and them got him a tea and he grips the bat and gets ready and sometimes he's going like this and I'm like, he's not even 2, how fun. That's just from him watching,
Yeah.
you know, but I remember Jett being like that. But
Here's my little buddy right here. It's like my little brother. I never had one, but
It was clear at an early age that Jett Williams had a passion to play baseball. But as his high school years approached, talks about Jett's size began to enter the conversation. It would become one of the most important times in his life. Jett Williams would spend the next 4 years at Rockwall-Heath High School focused on only 2 things: silencing his critics and achieving his #1 goal.
this one was always the goal. Like, #1 goal has not changed since my freshman year, is to get drafted in the first round. And we'll see what happens in July 17th.
I just know that Coach Harvey was when Jett became a freshman, was probably really excited because when Jett was 6, 7, 8 years old, all the way through, all Jett was doing, every baseball game, he spent right behind the dugout with a baseball, pounding it off the back of the dugout, turning double plays and all that good stuff. The whole game, 3 hours, and all Coach Harvey would hear was thud, 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 thud. And finally, you know, as a freshman, he's here and he didn't have to listen to that thud, thud the whole game. So I know Coach Harvey was pretty excited when he got here, just because he didn't have to listen to that, but not to mention he's a pretty good athlete, right?
Jett's the first true five-tool guy to come through here.
You know, there's a lot of really good high school baseball players that can hit, but there aren't a whole lot that can hit velocity, and Jett can really do that, and that's the thing that has, you know, made him go from great to, you know, elite, one of the very, very best, if not the best. He's so talented, but yet he works so hard that it's just it's a thing of beauty. It really is, because you just don't see the combination very much of an extremely gifted, talented player that works his butt off like he's, you know, got a chip on his shoulder trying to prove something every day, and that's what Jett does.
That's what he's got.
I will say this, Jett is the most pro-ready player that we've ever had. From him, when he leaves Heath baseball, he's the most pro-ready guy that we've had here.
He's a big lead by example guy. You know, he's not the most vocal. He talks, you know, leads, but he's a big, you know, follow what he does on the field and how he carries himself on the field. You know, I've seen guys, you know, top guys, and especially in this draft, you know, Elijah Green, those kind of guys, you know, break bats after they strike out. I've never seen Jett even show an ounce of, you know, physical anger towards anything after a mistake. You know, he leads in that kind of way.
When I think about the work that Jett Williams has put in, it's incredible. We've been training him now for about 2 years, and he's by far one of the hardest workers we've ever had, and it shows.
Probably before his high school years, you know, 12, 13, 14, just what he was wanting to work on, the things that he thought was going to make him better, and he started, you know, the maturity level come at those ages, and you could see what his dream was. You know, a lot of 12-year-old kids, they have a dream, but they're not serious about it.
I've trained kids for 25 years. He was the strongest kid through the middle part of his body I've ever had.
If you want to be a first-round draft pick, you have to do stuff that a lot of people aren't willing to do.
Got him, boy.
Jett Williams has solidified himself as one of the top high school baseball players in the country. His success has created an opportunity to reach a goal that was created his freshman year. It has also created an opportunity to give back and inspire the next generation of young baseball players.
Like guys I looked up to, like I just always try to be around them and see if they would give me something, or like not just playing catch with kids. I mean, I feel like to me, when I was that age, I always wanted to be around them. So it's like now that I'm kind of what the kids look up to, it's like I feel like that's really special to me, just because knowing that I looked up to the older kids and now the kids are looking up to me is pretty special. Just kind of knowing that I always have to do the right thing, which I'm going to do the right thing no matter what, but now that you have little kids looking after you, you always have to be doing the right thing at all times and make sure you're being a good role model to them.
We set up our baseball camp kind of centered around him having some chances to just sit on a bucket and have kids come up to him and sign baseballs, whether it's that or, you know, the kids at the games watching him after the games just kind of flocking to him. It's really cool. It's fun to watch. It's great to see how well Jett took to that and adapted to it. And you know, he's just a guy. He's just a kid out there with a bunch of kids looking up to him is really what he is. And it's you know, he's never thought he was bigger than what he is. He's always just been very humble and has welcomed everyone that wants to come up to him, talk to him, sign an autograph, whatever it is. He's been very welcoming, and that's another, you know, it's not always the case with a lot of high-profile players.
Jett was one of those little kids in 2012 when my son was on the team, and my son's out there signing autographs, doing all the right things. Well, anybody that has been around got to see Jett doing the exact same thing. He's signing autographs for the kids. He came off the bus to sign an autograph for a kid.
The proudest moment, I would say, is just how humble he stayed throughout the process. I mean, he's the same kid today that he was of that little kid in the 8th grade when we started. Really, you know, hey, we got to make varsity, you know, like you're going to put some work in, you know, those were all his goals. And I tried to assist him in that, but he hasn't let any of this change who he is at all. And that's what I'm most proud of.
Jett was like standing out, like he was one of the better players on a field at all times, if not the best player. And we try to tell him, you know, people look up to you. People are going to look at you and the way that you act and carry yourself. People are wanting to resemble themselves after you, and so you want to be that positive influence in somebody else's life, and set a good example for all the guys looking up to you. And I think he's really seen that now, especially coming out here and all the little guys coming after him, just like, Jett, can I get your autograph? Jett, take a picture. And you know, we leave games or practices or something, and you look at him and you're in the car and you're like, hey, like, that's why you always carry yourself a certain way, man. Your image is everything for yourself. Like, you represent your family's name on the back of your jersey, so you gotta, you know, have a high standard for that.
He's a great kid on and off the field, but in between the lines, he's gonna want to beat you. But off the field, I mean, he has. I can't say there's a guy that said I don't like Jett, like as a person. Like Jett as the person is awesome. Like my 12-year-old kid looks up to him, you know, and it's like that's what you want in one of your players, where the kids look up to him too. You know, even adults admire him and his maturity. So I think that's one of the things that for me, just being around him and just the way he goes about his business is what I admire.
But I think he was in like 3rd grade, 4th grade. What grade was it? And you know, they had a lesson at school, and you know, it was kind of like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And he wrote, you know, I'm going to be a professional baseball player.
I had an opportunity to work out with Jett, or I'm gonna say he had the opportunity to work out with me. We had a one off season, and I remember telling myself, like, this dude is a grinder. This man works. This man really wants to play the game, and I see the potential. And he can play this game for a very long time.
And all of a sudden, first round, and you're like, holy, like, what is going on? Like, so it's hard to believe, but then, you know, just go back to, like, you see the work ethic and the dedication, and you look at his goal board, and it's like, how do you not root for a kid like that?
Especially with a kid, he's only in high school, and he know where he wanna be. Told Jett a couple days ago, like, this is just gonna be the beginning, you know? Getting signed is anything, you know? It's just one step to the process to get to the big league. And he told me, I know where I wanna go, so he wanna be a big league player, and I know he's going to, because he's dedicated his life and he's putting the work behind every single day to get to the big league. So I'm excited for him.
It wouldn't surprise me to see him be an all-star one day.